Well. It's Thursday, baby. Now, I've been over there on the streets of Twatter today, vaccinated and sanitized, wading through all the red hat lies. And of course, baby, I stumbled upon the love child of Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, huh? Yes, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's always on the Twatter scene. Today, she twatted something out to the Twattersphere. We need to talk about it, dear. And it's not the first time that she's twatted this out into the Twattersphere, by the way, but it is the topic of discussion today. You see, she's been working on it for quite a few weeks. She's trying to earn back her favor with Daddy. Yes, the love child of Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair twatted this out into the twatter air. President Trump is ordering a new census that will not count illegal aliens. President Trump supports my bill, Making American Elections Great Again Act, which not only orders a new census counting American citizens only, it also orders reappointment by the new U.S. citizen count and requires proof of citizenship to vote. Congress must pass my bill so that the American citizen only will be represented in Congress. And of course, Daddy took to his not-so-trues to twat this out, baby. I have instructed our Department of Commerce to immediately begin work on a new and highly accurate census based on modern-day facts and figures, and importantly, using the results and information gained from the presidential election of 2024. People who are in our country illegally would not be counted in the census. Thank you for attention to this matter. Now, that little twat that Daddy put out into the twatosphere is very telling, dear. Because 1 and 1 is 2, and 2 and 2 is 4. But my jaw dropped to the floor when he said he wanted to use the information and the data from the 2024 election. Yes, baby, because, well, we've been tracking the data, you see, and it shows quite clearly that Daddy cheated. Yes, baby. But either way, I'm not here to talk about that particular issue today, and I absolutely do believe with my full fucking chest they cheated. And I'm allowed to believe that, you see, because I'm an American. And if they can question an election, I can too. It doesn't make me crazy or a fucking fool. What it makes me is a patriot, dear. A true American. Right fucking here. But either way, that twat was very telling for me. It's almost like he admitted it, baby. See, they seem to think that the undocumented people in sanctuary cities are voting and the favor is not going in his way. But I thought he won on that day. You see the play I'm playing at here? Now let's go back to the actual census data, dear. Now, I remember back in March reporting on this on my account that got banned. Yes, man, you're about to find out why that account got banned. Not only was I going hard for Palestine, but baby, I was coming after them expeditiously. You see, back in March, I learned about Doge fucking with the census, baby. Yes, they were fucking with it in a very particular way back on that day. Now, you'll go to the internet and you'll find reports that have been going on since June and July and back in May and April too about how Doge wanted to weed out some fraud within the Census Bureau by getting rid of certain census surveys. But we learned in March, or at least I did, and I went back to try to find this, and back then I didn't have extra storage for my phone and I didn't have a computer yet, so I didn't keep the story. I didn't save the story. I had to erase it. And I went back to find it again today, and I can't find it anywhere. Anywhere. But either way, we learned that Doge had decided that if you had a household of mixed-race people, if at least one person in that house claimed that they were white, then they considered every person in that house to be white. Oh, baby, it was shady. It was so fucking shady. They were trying to flex and change the numbers of the whites in our country, you see, and minimize the melanated, baby. But you already know that. That's what they do every fucking day. Now, if you don't understand what the census is about, and I promise you Daddy Dumpy Pants doesn't understand either, they all want to do this for congressional votes, baby. They want to redraw districts, and they're doing it in every kind of way, from gerrymandering to taking cases to the Supreme Court today. So many ways they're trying to rig the system against you and me and the melanated too, and anybody who believes in freedom, fucking boo. A census lets us know all sorts of things, and this will absolutely affect the red crew. That's right. In your city, when your schools are in disrepair and there are not enough of them there and the classrooms are overcrowded, the census lets the federal government know that you need some money slung your way to build up a new school or repair one today. Well, if the census data doesn't reflect who actually lives in your city, you get no federal funding for that. And when it comes to corporations, they use the census data too. That's how they decide whether or not to bring a new business to you, which creates jobs and a stronger economy. But with false census data, baby, don't expect any new jobs coming your way. Not today, not tomorrow, not any fucking day. There's so many things that the census does that's important to our economy, our welfare, everything, baby, not just voting, you see. As a matter of fact, when it comes to census data, the voting part of that, the congressional part of that, is a very small portion of that. It actually doesn't reflect anything that has to do with drawing a congressional line. I know that's really not the play that they want to play today with us, you see, because I am fucking petty. I am so fucking petty, in fact, that I'll take the time. I'll take the time to research every congressional line. I'll take the time to research every sanctuary city. I'll take the time to research every red city, too, to find out how we need to tweak that census data, boo. And by the way, just in case you're wondering today, there's only a fine at play, if you don't want to fill out the census. That's right, you can refuse to fill out your census, and they'll only charge you $100 for that. Imagine that. That's not a whole lot of money. I know it seems like a whole lot, but you could save up $100 and refuse to fill out your census. But that's not going to do anything good for you. But what, oh what, if we had the information we needed and the data we needed to know who to tell what to fill out on their census? Like, say, for instance, in my little district, we needed more money from the federal government to build schools and such nonsense. I could just lie and say that my household is filled with 10 children today of school age. And the same goes for your voter registration, too. That's right, boo. When they go through and they look at the voter registration data, they're trying to see who's red and who's blue. Yes, it makes them decide whether or not they need a new conditional line. But what if the voter registration data reflected that there were more Republicans than Democrats? Maybe they would step the fuck back. All I'm saying today, baby, is you can be petty in so many ways. And if they want to fuck with our data, we can fuck with their data too. Are you ready? I am, boo.